yes, it's near the Alewife train station.
Do you think the Alewife Brook is clean? Why or why not?
I think sometimes it's clean, but I think after it rains it can be pretty dirty.
Where do you think the litter goes? The litter in North Cambridge goes?
It depends. If it ends up in the storm drain, that litter goes and gets swept into the Alewife Brook.
Have you heard of the Alewife Brook?
I have.
And do you know where it is?
I think I do.
Do you think Alewife Brook is clean?
It's clean.
So, okay. And where do you think the litter goes in North Cambridge?
Where the litter goes in North Cambridge? In the sewers?
And stuff in it?
Just animals. Then it's probably not clean if animals live in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question. Where do you think the litter goes in North Cambridge?
Alewife Brook.
So we're in this little sub-watershed down here. So in the sub-watershed where I write in now, the bowl all drips into the Alewife Brook, which is what we're standing, the Alewife Brook. And then I guess we might get a water sample. And then we brought this thing called a YSI, which is what we were using today, because we were actually sampling ourselves. And we can use this to find how much oxygen is in the water, and you want a certain amount that's acceptable for like fish or turtles or whatever's living in the water. And then we can also look at other things like conductivity, which can tell you how much electrical conductivity is in the water. But if you have a lot of it in a freshwater system, it could be because you had salt. You know, after in the winter you put salt on the road, so you might increase the conductivity from that, or you might have a lot of suspended matter, or looking at TSS, or total suspended solids. So we can use this instrument to find those types of water quality parameters. So maybe like a hook on it and stuff, but these ones we actually buy from like an outdoor forestry supplier type of place. Yeah.
I have a really quick question.
Yeah.
How does Alewife Brook compare to other similar sized tributaries in terms of litter and pollution?
I think in terms of litter, it's probably comparable. I mean, you'll have these, businesses here where people live there, and you'll see these like little places where people can sit, and you'll see people who bring their drinks and their Dunkin' Donuts, and you'll see that at all the tributaries, and you might find a spot that's more popular than another. And then in terms of like the water quality, I think the Alewife, it's a smaller tributary, but it has had some problems in the past few years. I mean, there's some good days and there's some bad days. The Aberjona River, it's a little bit bigger, so it's kind of harder to say, but it's also had some major industry. So it's actually had more contamination, but it's a bigger river, and there's more industry in the northern part of the watershed up in Woburn. So they've actually had contaminants put in from, several years ago. And then other ones are Meeting House Brook, and that is down on the Mystic River towards Medford, and that one's relatively clean, but it's also a smaller tributary. So it's kind of hard to compare them because it's a little bit medium-sized, and then the Aberjona is a little bit bigger, and then Meeting House Brook is a lot smaller. So it kind of depends on what is influencing it, like if you have a lot of stormwater or CSOs where you might have a city that's not really doing a good job of removing some of those things, and then sometimes they're good. It just depends on the weather and the things that are being put into it. So, yeah.
How does the pollution in the Alewife Brook affect us?
Well, like I said, if you were to go swimming after it was raining, that might be an issue, and there's bacteria, so you might get sick from that. And what we're doing today, we're doing cyanobacteria sampling, and that's what we're doing later today. And if there's a bloom of this cyanobacteria, it's actually a toxin, so it actually can impact humans and dogs. So if a dog went swimming and you had this toxic form of bacteria, your dogs can get sick, and some dogs have even died from it. So we actually visit about 6 or 7 swimming beaches or places where people bring their dogs. So if we find that there's an issue, we actually let the city know. So that's what we're doing today. And if a human, you know, was swimming in this toxic bacteria, you might get sick, you might get a rash, you might get, you know, nauseous or something like that. But that generally only happens in the summer, and you can, if it's really bad, you might actually see a bloom of the green type of bacteria or algae kind of floating. So you probably won't be exposed to it. And we go to swimming beaches and look for it. So in a place like this, it's a moving body of water, and here it's really shady. So the bacteria wouldn't really be an issue here, but the places we're going to are ponds. So there's not a lot of movement of water, and there's a lot of sun. So that causes the blooms to get a lot bigger. And so that's what we're looking for throughout the summer.
Well, so why is it important?
Okay. Nadeja and Cynthia are using the electronic tester to test the water. It tests its pH, temperature, oxygen, and conductivity. Savannah and I are using a paddle tester. A paddle tester tests coliform bacteria. Now we have to wait 24 hours to see the result. Hope you are part of the solution and not the problem.